Storytelling, as against its name, should not be something that's dumping information onto the reader's head. You should actually make them imagine things. You should make them imagine things and make them feel like they were there. Sentence construction, grammar, spellings, usage of the right words in the right place, the plot in itself, the characters don't have any depth, nothing at all. What are you talking about? Because they keep talking and then they come back to the same point, which is, I don't understand what's going on. The book is exhausting to read, to say the least. All you want to do is put the book down and forget all about it. It started off palely, nothing worthwhile happened in the first 100-200 pages, and I was simply bored. This was not the Jeffrey Archer I know. The way he thought of himself, his ideas of himself, and the way he looked at people around him, it sort of dug the grave for my respect for him. What I could understand from this book is that he thought of himself as a saint. That everyone around him was stupid not to understand his ideals, and everyone around him had to follow whatever he said without questioning him. But I regret requesting for it, and I regret wasting my time reading it. It's confusing, repetitive, it has its timelines all over the place. The story is disappointing in so many ways. Weak characters, weak plotline, and repetitive writing. I was relieved that it ended. I am also annoyed by the wannabe poetic writing in a number of places. These repetitions, if they were cut out, if these chunks were cut out, this could be a cracker of a thriller. But unfortunately, it's not like that. Oh my god. I felt like I was reading a research paper. The language was that stiff and formal. I really don't like it now that I've read it. I always used to think that I need to read Peter Pan. But this book made me angry. And to see that Peter Pan is a kind of fairy tale character that children look up to is sort of saddening. Because Peter Pan is a domineering, misogynistic child. And I have a very strong opinion about it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I know it's a fairy tale and I shouldn't be giving it the weight that I'm giving it right now. But if children grow up thinking that Peter Pan is right, I don't know what the world has come to. To top it off, Tinkerbell. What a snob she is. The next time you think of calling someone Tinkerbell because how delicate they are, don't. I hated it. Now I want my money back. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, and I really don't want to talk about this because it annoyed me to no end. It just felt like the writing was lazy and didn't want to go ahead in any sense. At one point it just started to become tiresome to read the book. Basically, Miranda Priestly is very annoying. She's very irritating. I would have punched her in the face probably. They made a mistake putting Meryl Streep in that role because Meryl Streep actually made Miranda likable. There's no insight into her thoughts at all. Still, constantly saying things like women must not lure men, and then you must have done something wrong because you're a girl. There's nothing to prove what the author is trying to say. And then there's incest. So much of it that it actually creeped me out. So stupid! What is even going on in this book? She just meets someone suddenly and 4 days later she's in love with them. That's not how it works. Like, I'm already half sleepy and this is like murdering my brain. Narrative gets repetitive in places and it also becomes a little preachy at times. He tries to give all the information through dialogue, which is as it should be, but every dialogue that has information is about 2 to 3 paragraphs long. It left me underwhelmed. It feels a tad bit forced and pretentious in places because it is so confusing. There are, I think, a couple of tracks in here which try to merge together to make absolute sense, but it does not make sense. It's so fragmented. It's just the story just doesn't make sense in the larger picture. The language used, the cliched circumstances in there, and the rushed ending. The narration by Richard Jewell is rather good, but I found it to be a little too strained. Like he was trying to be a combination of Stephen Fry, Amitabh Bachchan and Morgan Freeman all at once. I was sort of bored. I didn't want to know what's happening next. I wasn't involved in what was happening right there. 60%, 65% in, I was like, okay, I'm liking this book, I'm liking this book, I'm loving this book. And then it just slides down. I like the writing in most places, but in the places that I don't, I hate it. And I just want to chuck this book out of the window. Just plain lazy writing. I'm really pissed off about this book right now. I just want to give this book up, but circumstances are that I cannot, and you can see how annoyed I am by this book. You're trying to be fancy when there's no need for it. What is wrong with this book? Doesn't make sense. Next, there's the stupid philosophy. One time you're talking about the past and another time they're talking about the future, and I'm here in the present kicking myself for having picked this book. The story doesn't know where it's going. The one good thing about this book is that it is consistent. It is consistent in making me feel angry, anguished and distant and disgusted. There's no redeeming quality at all. This is so annoying, this book. Like, it doesn't go ahead. There's so much fluff in there, like unnecessary stuff. 150 pages in, I was like, what is going on? Why do I have to go through this? All it does is Helena trains, and then Dorian goes to meet her in a chambers, then Keol goes to meet her in a chambers, and then Helena passes a test. Then again the same thing happens. But this time he sees Dorian and jealousy flares and he pulls him out. And then Selena wins a test. And then again the same thing happens. And